Oh,
Catherine she's not going to be able to sign in. The Wi-Fi is very weak. Okay, no problem.
Was that Catherine?
Yes. Sweet. So we can get started.
Exciting.
Great.
We are.
Great. Since Catherine's not going to have them, I'll just get started. So we can call to order at 6 o'clock. We do intro. Okay, we'll do intros first. President Paige Allen.
Paige Barnum, Vice President of Finance.
Trustee Veneta, Secretary.
Trustee Jackson.
Trustee McTagg.
Trustee Reed.
Andrea Nikolai, Executive Director.
Mackenzie Clark, Counsel to the Library.
Melanie Metzger, Assistant Director.
Adam Stump, Director of Finance.
Sean Smith, Board Treasurer.
Erica, is there any public comment? Thank you. Okay, I'll give everybody a couple minutes to review the minutes. Any questions about the minutes? And I don't need
Trustee McTagg, motion to accept the minutes.
Trustee Veneta, second.
all in favor? All right, unanimous. Moving on to check registers. Give folks a second with the operating check register. Any questions for library staff on the check register? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
Trustee Veneta, motion to accept operating check register.
Is there a second?
Trustee Reed, second.
All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Great. So moving on to the treasurer's report, John.
The items included in the agenda present the library's 2026 fiscal year activity for the full 12 months ended June 30th, 2026. The treasurer's report includes the two schedules. The first schedule presents the net change in fund balance compared to the budget amounts approved by the board. And then the second schedule presents a further breakdown of the expenditures by category. Similar to the last few months, total support and revenues were slightly over the modified budget, while total expenditures were slightly under the modified budget. This resulted in net change in fund balance is decreased less than what was budgeted. The capital fund report presents the financial activity for the capital projects that were approved by the board. And then the cash and investment summary presents the activity in the library's accounts during the reporting.
Do you remember offhand what the decrease of the fund balance was going to be? Anybody? Adam?
Yeah, I can tell you, right now it's looking like it's going to be in the neighborhood of 600. thousand plus, probably between 600 and 650,000.
And we were thinking it was going to be like 100,000 higher than that.
The initial budget had us, let's see, losing 822,000
Okay,
in fund balance. So it is
great.
improvement over that.
I'm
Thank you,
considering.
President.
Considering, yeah. Okay, great. Are there any other questions for Sean on the treasurer's report? I don't know if folks are familiar with the library investments. I don't know if we've really talked about that at all. If anyone has questions about that. Any of the new people?
And I would encourage everyone to read the investment policy, which also just kind of takes you through how it's handled. But yeah.
I mean, for the last few years, I think we've just predominantly been investing in short-term T-bills based on cash needs. And yeah, like Andrea said, the investment policy, we are pretty restricted into what we can actually invest in. So
Great. Any other questions? Okay, thanks, John. Moving on to committee and liaison reports. Any trustees want to out on things they've done?
Trustee Reed, I attended the report out thing, right? I went to I think it's called Live in the Garden at Bach, the Tony Scatino Band of Gold Trio. I was probably, besides my children, the youngest person there by 30 years. They played a lot of 50s and 60s hits, but it was still fun. It was moved indoors because of the rain, but it was a nice venue.
I've been to this season a couple of the farmers markets that are out behind the Delaware Bridge. So I think given the many scary food systems we find ourselves in this country, opportunities to buy local and, every year it sort of changes and you have new vendors and new items. It's really exciting that we have that in our library backyard. So sweet corn season. So get it while it's here.
All right, moving on to the committees. Executive committee met on the 5th to assign committees to everybody. There will be a few changes, which we'll do after we've appointed the 9th trustee to the vacancy. And I don't believe any other committees met because they don't exist yet. So we can move on to oh, do you want to say when the audits?
Yeah, so we have two committees, just a report for audit and finance. We have our first committee meeting scheduled for, I believe, August 20th, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Washington Ave. And one of the things that we have on our agenda is sort of an overview of the library and its financials and reports. And we're sort of looking at this as a nice, welcome to the library board, new financial information, avail yourselves of knowledge about the library budget. So we're actually, while we are meeting as a committee, we're inviting everyone to attend with initial primer, library finance 101. So we'll send out an email to let everyone know about that meeting rather than just right now verbally. And then as far as another committee, policy and governance has set a meeting date for August 26th, which is a Wednesday at 5:30, and that will actually be at the North Albany branch. Those are the two committees I know of.
Do you know, Rachel, if nominating is meeting?
We started talking about doing the 24th or the 25th of August. We have
Okay.
not confirmed.
Not confirmed yet. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, great. Now we can move on to the director's report.
All right. And I just want to say I'm really looking forward to working with all the committees and supporting you in all the ways that that we can. So don't hesitate to reach out. And Erica can help with scheduling needs and all that good stuff. So it's been a real, a real eventful July at the library. We don't really take summer off. We really lean in, whether it's into summer reading or some of the other outreach activities going on. So I just want to lead with the fact that we were able to support 6 summer youth employees at APL branches, and that's a great number for us. Last year, I think it was 5, so we upped it by 1. They're all done. Their summer youth employment is over at this point, but they ended with this really great sort of field trip tour of a number of different positions at Washington Avenue. Like the group of them came around, and Rebecca like introduced them to the IT department and kind of showcased all the different ways that you can work at the library. It's not just about, being a librarian. There are lots of different roles that you can play to support this kind of organization. So that was really cool. They were delightful to meet. I got to talk to them in my office, and yeah, some of them expressed an interest in continuing their library career at some point. So that's always nice to hear. We got out into the community a whole lot in July. We revived the Albany race, Discover Albany. That was a very popular event. And did a behind the scenes tour of Hall of Records, supporting the Library 5 concerts. Those have also come to a close at this point, but we really appreciated the fact that we got to partner with CDTA and the city to get people to those concerts. In terms of my own outreach activities, Mayor Dorsey and Pleers and Member Romero press conference about Cap City Collective Leadership Group for Young Adults, and I made it known to Sean Milligan, who's going to be heading up that group in terms of chairing it. I think that the library branches would be a great place for that group to have meetings and do anything community related they want to carry on in the way of lecture series. There are a lot of different initiatives that they want to undertake as part of their plans to make the city vital to for 2020 and 35. We also had a really good meeting with the Albany Community Land Trust and Project Outreach and Prevention specifically. We're partnering with the ACLT to continue to support this probation program at Arbor Hill West Hill, which brings teens who are on probation in, and it's activities for them. It's led by the ACLT and partners. There are social workers who also support this particular program, and it's a way of supporting teens who are really moving through probation and going on to then be successful in school and life, et cetera. So there are a lot of life skills going on in that program at Arbor Hill West Hill as well. And the Friends and Foundation, I sent you all an email about this, but Friends and Foundation were just awarded a grant from the Carl E. Toohey Foundation to help with the renovations here at the first floor of Washington Avenue. We are so excited about this money. It's going to be really transformational for the first floor. The furniture that we have on this floor that is available for adults is not, it's like kind of a hodgepodge left over from different areas of the library. We really want to elevate the user experience. It's right in the strategic plan that you all have tonight, elevating the user experience. So I can't wait to spend that money and improve this floor for everyone who comes through it. This is the most heavily trafficked branch, and for us to have kind of left behind this floor is it's just not okay. So we're gonna make it a much improved place to be, even though we can't redo the bathrooms with this. It's gonna be good in other ways. Under safety, I'm happy to report that there were 15 less incidents in June than in July, and June was just sort of an unpleasant month for us in terms of the number of incidents and number of health emergencies we saw. So we saw that come down in July. We also made some changes to the front of Washington Avenue. We're trying to limit the loitering that's happening out front. I know that it's a source of consternation for a lot of people who live in Center Square, who come by the library. You know, when you see people out front, kind of, you're not sure what they're doing. They're maybe there all day. They're maybe aren't coming inside because they feel like smoking just off the library property or something like that. So we're trying to reduce the loitering that's going on in front of Washington Avenue. It creates a less than welcoming environment for people who are maybe trying to decide whether to come into the library. Community engagement, Rebecca and her library assistant were busy. Aubrey, as I mentioned, moved on to their new position at Scroon Lake, but I'm happy to say that Rebecca just hired a new part-time library assistant for her department, and you'll be hearing more about that person in months. In July overall, there were 5 volunteers who worked a total of 67.5 hours. And I already spoke about the summer youth employees, but that was another big win for that department this past month. Under programs and partnerships, as I mentioned, we're very busy with outreach. So we work with organizations like 15 Love, Palace Theater, the Matinee series, the weekly play streets, Twilight Market, Big Game Market, Albany County Department on Aging, which of course is on the St. Rose campus. Partner with them, Ohav Shalom, the VA residents, and Movies Under the Stars. These are just some of the many, many organizations we partner with and do outreach visits for during the course of the year. And a lot of that was, of course, tied into summer reading as well. Under branch services, just want to call out some highlights. We have a beautiful art show up at Arpo West Hill right now. I have to stop by and actually see it in person, but Raouf, our library assistant, has been working hard with community members and contributing to a large canvas representation. Continue to be on display for a while throughout the month, so please check it out. At Bach, we held a particularly successful Digging Rocks program, brought in a rock expert, Anita Sanchez, who taught kids how to identify different rocks. That was a really great STEAM-related activity. At Delaware, I want to call out the fact that our community room at Delaware was booked every Sunday in July by different outside groups. And this is an increase over what we had seen in previous years. So it is a nice way of seeing that the Sunday hours are appreciated by the community, that groups are finding community rooms valuable on Sundays, let alone on Saturdays. Other branches. At Howe, we hosted the USS Slater Museum at the beginning of the month, and that was a really, really popular program that brought in some local history, brought in some questions for the presenter. At North Albany, staff have been very involved in building programs kind of organically, so they led some art-related programs, cyanotypes, pop tab bracelets, excuse me, and other hands-on arts and crafts activities, which have proven to be really popular at that location. At Pine Hills, we continued with our architectural walking tours and welcomed Kara Macri from the Historical Albany Foundation. We still have the handouts, the beautiful handouts that came as a result of a grant and we partnered with the Historical Albany Foundation to produce that walking tour. So people continue to discover it, which is great. At Washington Avenue, we have also kind of upped our arts and crafts programming. So in addition to the makerspace events that happen, we held some other really nice Saturday afternoon workshops. Under communications, we had some really nice interaction around the Sarah Moss book cover, kind of teasing the next release from her. She's famous for the Court of Thorns and Roses, and we did a quart of milk and she gets something. We did a spoof on her title, so that saw a lot of engagement on social media, which was fun. We also, under collection management services, visited the farmers market a number of times in July, and that continues to be a nice way of showcasing our new releases at the Delaware branch and on the card here at Washington Ave. We continue to fill positions as quickly as possible with some assistance from the HELPS program for civil service. We also have included a new section under the human resources heading in this report, and it's the staff training log. Melanie is responsible for staff training across the organization, and she's going forward, she's going to be including some highlights of the different trainings that staff have taken on so that you all can see what we're chasing in terms of knowledge and development for our staff. And I was one of the ones who attended the New York State Minimum Standards for Public Library Room Usage Policy. That was really interesting. It gave me a lot of notes to bring back to the Policy and Governance Committee. Under facilities, we finally were able to repair the Pine Hills elevator. So staff aren't having to carry baskets of books upstairs anymore or retrieve things for patrons who can't climb the stairs. That repair did take several weeks, but it was successful, and we're glad that it's now resolved. And our landscaping continues to be addressed. We saw a lot of weeds come up really quickly as a result of all the water we had throughout the month of July. So if you've visited Bach recently, or how you've seen that the weeds are really proliferating, we've kind of taken steps to address the weeds. We're also going to be mulching and working with our groundskeeper vendor to make sure that those properties are neatened up and prepared for the fall. So just pardon our appearance in the meantime, I guess. It's still looking pretty lush, especially behind Bach in the garden. But, yeah. So that kind of concludes the report. Any questions?
Not a question, but just like so happy, Trustee McTagg, happy to hear about the youth employment stuff. Like I was an Albany kid who was like employed through the youth employment program from age 14 until I aged out of it. And I love that there were 6 kids employed by the library this summer, and hopefully that's going to keep growing, but awesome that we were able to help.
Thanks for that. Yeah, we were thrilled. And I asked them what they wanted to see in the library that they maybe didn't see in the library. And one of them said that she wanted to see Raspberry Pis. So that's something. And that Raspberry Pi is it's a tech thing. It's not an actual Raspberry Pi. So just for those not in the know, we're talking about technology, little gadgets that kids put together and they become robots or programmable. Clearly, I've never used one. However, they're a nifty thing that a lot of libraries have added to their libraries of things. So as we think about the library of things, we're thinking about suggestions from our young people, and we want to continue to encourage those suggestions and add all the things that are going to draw more kids to the library.
I'll take a one-time use Raspberry Pi. Just saying.
Monthly statistics.
Oh, yeah, and I also skipped over the finance section. So Adam, do you want to address that before I get to statistics? Because that's technically part of the ED report. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. So just a couple quick notes. The fiscal 26 audit is still in progress. And we did get a piece of promising news since the last meeting. The retirement system has provided us with an updated estimate of our fiscal 27 annual invoice. The current estimate is just over 696,000, which is about 50,000 less than their previous estimate, which is what we currently have budgeted for fiscal 27. So it's still just an estimate, and it's subject to change for 45 invoices issued this year. So it's promising this round.
Thanks, Adam. And in terms of statistics, you'll see that we're starting off FY27 with a dip in circulation of materials. We're looking really strong, we continue to look really strong on the digital content side of things. But in terms of physical materials circ, and in particular, youth services related, like the picture books are down. It hurts my heart to say it, but our children's materials circulation is not faring well in comparison to last year at this time. And we're very aware of it. We're very aware that we need to make some moves to change that. And we do have plans in place to chase and shape certain collections that are very relevant to curriculum in Albany, looking to promote this concept of library cards for all students in Albany. These are some of the steps that are going to help, but this is also a national trend that's happening. Kids are reading less, and it's an issue. It's an issue that we have to struggle with and figure out because it's troubling. So I hate to lead off statistics with such a dire note, but it's something that concerns me. It's something that should concern all of us. And it's, yeah, like I said, we're making moves to address it in some of the ways that we can right now. In terms of other trends, computer use was up overall, except at North Albany, which saw a slight decrease, and door count was also up overall. So there's some really good news too. This door count is obviously huge for us. The more people who are in the building, the more services they're likely to use. So those increases in door counts were driven by Washington Avenue, Arbor West Hill, and North Albany, which is nice to see. Any questions about the statistics or anything related?
Andrea. We can move on to business, and we have two agreements that we reviewed in preparation for this meeting tonight. The OPALCA agreement, the RDAF, and the Business Owner Seats agreement.
Yeah, so the Apopka Gallery Curatorial Agreement renewal is related to Art at APL. It supports Art at APL. Art at APL is the biannual show that's curated by the Apopka Gallery and funded by the Francis Foundation of Albany Public Library. We've had a really great working relationship with the Apopka Gallery, and these shows continue to be very popular in the community. So I'm looking for the board's support to renew that contract. If there are any questions about that renewal, happy to answer them. I'm seeing that maybe the red line didn't come through, or oh no, yeah, I'm not seeing the red line come through in terms of changing the year, but that's literally all that changed was the year. So otherwise, everything is going to stay the same, except for the terms, or the, not terms, but the benefits that are listed in Exhibit A. Those have been updated by Apopka Gallery, and I'd be happy to share those as part of the follow-up to this meeting, because they're not really, they don't have any impact as far as renewing a contract or not. They're just sort of what we receive, or what the Friends of Foundation more accurately receive in terms of promotion and all the support from Apopka Gallery that goes along with the shows. So it's about like mentions in social media and the different ways that they help us get the word out. But the new benefits described in these today are they're totally acceptable, very comparable to these. Just there are some of the things that they have discontinued. I think one example would be the invitations to VIP artists curated dinner. I think that's called something else now. So anyway, I'm looking for a motion to renew the contract.
No questions. Trustee Benita, I motion to approve the renewal of the Apopka Gallery Curatorial Agreement. Let me see, it's going up, guys.
Trustee Jackson said.
All in favor? Aye. Great, unanimous.
Thank you, I appreciate that, and I'll be excited to share the news with the Council Foundation with Alpaca. The second agreement that's before you tonight is our agreement with BOCES for use of the second floor classroom here at Washington Avenue. This is where BOCES conducts a number of English as a new language classes, and this as well has been a really positive working relationship. They've been very respectful of the space, of all of our, policies and procedures. And they also have some new leadership, so that's been updated in this section that has to do with contacts. So again, I'm looking for a motion to approve the BOCES literacy zone agreement, which actually doesn't expire until I think October, but it's good for planning to have it squared away at this point.
I just have a question about the one dollar. Is that necessary?
I'm guessing it is.
Okay.
Okay, Mackenzie said.
For consideration purposes, it's necessary to have that in the contract.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions?
Just a little typo in Stifler, I'm assuming since the red line, if I over down the first sentence of second revenue.
Oh, thank you so much. Good catch.
Here's what we say. Yeah, so it's made as a blank day. Basically, we're the first.
It'll be with us, yeah. But I'll put it in. Thank you.
Any other comments?
And I believe their plans are to, oh, sorry, I believe their plans are to hold classes on 3 different days a week. I also let them know that if they wish to up that, if they wish to use the classroom that they have for other classes during the course of the week during library hours, that would be perfectly fine under this agreement. It's just making them aware that that's possible. There's no restriction on the number of classes that they can hold during our business hours.
Trustee Jackson, I make a motion that we approve the BOCES literacy zone agreement.
Trustee Reed, second.
All in favor? Aye. Unanimous, great. All right, Erica, is there any public comment? Okay, we're gonna move into executive sessions.
Trustee Benita, I'm motion to enter executive session to discuss.
Personnel, yeah.
Personnel, discuss medical, financial credit, or employment history of a particular person or incorporation or matters leading to the appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Yeah.
Okay. All in favor of entering executive session? Great, unanimous, enter. Oh, I thought, sorry. Sorry.
It's this side.
Okay, great, 6:33.
Okay, for all of you watching from home, the board is entering executive session. This will end our live stream. If they make any decisions coming out of executive sessions, those will be reflected in the minutes next month. Thank you and have a good night.